Episode 3, we here. Man, the more I watch this, the more I'm getting drenched in the whole universe. That last episode was a roller coaster. Straight bloodbath, fades, zombies, bombs, all that you could want from an action, it was right there. I guess after losing Joel, they brought his body back to town. This episode started off kind of deep with a deep sentiment. Started off with Tommy, Joel's brother, cleaning off Joel's body and cleaning the excess blood off his hands, like any loving relative would. If they lose a relative to a tragedy like that, I would think they would, stay with the body, and pretty sure so many people have been through that out here in the world. But yeah, he stayed, cleaned the body, and probably thinking what the hell going on and who probably did this to my brother, because he was off doing his own thing in the town, and like I said, that blizzard was going on, and Joe and him was out, and he already was kind of worried. His intuition was already tearing him up. He was already paranoid, making sure Joe was all right. People was trying to make him relax and not worry a lot, and he just wasn't having it. And you could tell by looking at Joe that this wasn't some zombie attack or him falling off a cliff or something like that, just from the wounds of what Abby did and how it all took place. We got Ellie in the hospital recovering, which probably was a good thing. Ellie, she needed some rest. Ellie was out. She was running for days and, going crazy, and her body took a big hit, going back and forth with them adults. So it got Ellie in the hospital recovering, with, Dena and a couple people by her side. And surprisingly, which I didn't know, was some months had went by. Ellie was in the hospital for a few months, knocked out. She was in a coma, basically. And really hydration. She needed to be hydrated. You know how it goes. She was in there getting hydrated, getting some rest, recharging the battery back up. And immediately when she woke up, she just screamed. That horror movie, that horrific scream they talk about. She just woke up and just screamed, the long scream she let out. I guess she was probably hoping it was a dream, whatever it was that happened. But when she woke up and saw she was in the hospital. So approximately 3 months done passed now. It's been 3 months since Ellie been in the hospital. 3 months since Joel been gone. Doctors run tests on Ellie. And at this moment when Ellie was getting the test done, she just felt like she just want to leave the hospital at this point. She felt like she been in there too long since she woke up. She's just ready to get back to seeing everybody, get back to life. They make her see one more doctor. And of course that doctor was Joel's therapist. When they sent that therapist in there to evaluate Ellie, I felt that was a good thing. Because, her vibing with Ellie and getting to talk to Ellie, she could hear about, different sides of Joel as well. And not look at him just as some killer, because at this point, she chopped it up with Joel and, they had therapy sessions or whatever. But she still kind of got this look at him because he killed her husband, So this can give her a different outlook on him. It's a good thing. Dena and Ellie eventually hook up for the first time since Joel passed away. Dena tell Ellie that she know the names of the people and she know the location of where they might be going. And Ellie immediately got pissed because she said, you wasted a lot of time. We could have been did this in so many words. You could have been told me and we could have been got this done. And Dena explained to her that's exactly why she didn't want to tell her, because she knew she would get mad. And immediately that'd be the first thing that she want to do. Tommy meets up with Ellie and Dena to tell them that it's going to be a town meeting. And that in this town meeting, everybody will get a chance to be heard. It's best not to come to the town meeting with anger and to explain yourself and explain your case and what it is that you want to do. And everybody get a chance to be heard. Basically, they're having a town meeting to investigate the murder of Joel, on who it might be and, how they're going to continue to go about it. But I don't think everybody know that Dena already know the names of these people. Because remember when I told you before that Dena and Joel was at that house with all of them. So they got a chance to get their names and talk to them before Ellie got to get to the house and see what happened. It was all good before Ellie got there. She came just when everything was going to shit. Also at this moment, Ellie learned where Joel is buried because Tommy explains to her he buried right out of town if you want to go see him. And Ellie responded with, I'll go see Joel when we are on our way to get done. Basically, the only thing right now on Ellie's mind is getting back for Joel. The only thing Ellie thinking about is getting back at those people that harmed Joel. At the same time, we get to see the viciousness of the WLF when they came across that tribe. Remember, it's a tribe of people that they showed, and they communicate through whistles while traveling in separate packs. And they all got scars on their faces, these scars that they wear on both sides of their faces. They carry hammers and sharp tools, not too many guns, which I thought was they probably wouldn't last long in a world where there's so many weapons and zombies and infected running around. You're gonna need some guns in a setting like that. Jesse explained to Ellie that it's best to use a verbal strategy in the meeting and not use not go in the meeting with anger, but have a strategy and a plan. Don't go in there just screaming things out and we gotta get them, we gotta get them. Go in there and explain your case and explain that you know explain the steps and the levels that you want to take to go about completing the mission. Don't just go in there enraged, just saying, yo, we got to get back. So they have the town meeting. This dude was funny. A few topics got brought up, which I thought was a few good topics from everybody. A few people spoke their point on why they felt we shouldn't go to go after the people, and some people gave a point on why we should go. But overall, the meeting was about Joel. The guy from the argument that night with Ellie, when her and Dena was dancing, he ended up being a solid dude at the end of the day. He was solid. And honestly, while he was giving his speech and his point on why we should get back for Joel and why everybody should carry weapons, while he was giving his speech, I could see that Ellie probably becoming fond of this guy as well. He probably reminded her of Joel a little bit. So Ellie took Jesse's advice. It was her turn to speak, and she took Jesse's advice, and you can tell she took his advice because Ellie ended up writing a speech. Ellie had a whole paper with a speech written down, and I said, all right, so she listened to Jesse and came about. You could see the change in Ellie over time. Ellie she maturing a lot, Ellie changing. So after Ellie gave her a speech on why she believed we should go after the people and get back for Joel, after her long speech and explaining why and relaxing and keeping her anger back, the council still rejected what she asked for. They rejected her proposal. But I kind of knew at that moment that Ellie probably still was going to go anyway. And just like I thought Ellie and Dena, they had their own plan to decide to go out, sneak out of town, and go look for these people anyway. But before they had left town, Ellie went and made a visit to Joel's grave, which I thought was cool. And she whispered down and left a message for him and stood there for a minute before they rolled out. Going to see that loved one that passed that you really care for. It might be a minute before you go back to the site, so you just want to let them know how you feel. It's normal. I don't think nothing. It was nothing weird about that. That was a good scene. And there you go. It's official. Girls on their way, heading off to find Joel's killers. Another adventure, another risk. And at the end of the day, it was Ellie and Dena that discovered the dead group of Scarface tribe people on the road. They did try to hide when they heard somebody coming, but the WLF too vicious. They eventually found those people. And I think at that moment when they saw that tribe of people dead, laid all over the road, and the way it was done, I think Dena recognized what they was up against and what was coming. And you could see it in her face. She said to herself probably, it's time to tighten up. So tell me what y'all think about the girls going off to this town by themselves, back on the road, just them two searching for Abby and her crew. You think Ellie is going to get her revenge on Abby, and you think her and Dena could come out unscathed. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Thanks for watching.